That's the pretext for you. And I think with that everything is set. The last thing to do is actually play the game, eh? In the previous game, hard was the best difficulty because it allowed you to weak spot, one shot almost every enemy when the power level is equal. Like the Watchers were the base ones that you first encounter, right? And yeah, Watchers and Striders, and if you fully charge an arrow or later on with hardpoint arrows, you could one-shot weak point those critters. And very hard, the enemies suddenly felt extremely spongy, and ultra hard is just was super dumb because they tripled the cost of everything. That's just uncreative. Yeah, so I'm gonna go with hard because I think in the previous version this was the best balance. This is probably one of the hardest decisions I have to do in this game. Bruh. Because before we had waypoints. Like I don't know if this is like Metro, where you don't even can see how much ammunition you have. Like, what is this? In the settings, I hope they have this here as well. Menu. They don't have it here. Why? The previous game had a picture to let you see what you change. And that is suddenly not the case anymore. Or what you change, how the image quality would change. Huh. Man. You're gonna go with guided. Everything looks more shiny, more reflective.
I'm running out of time, Elizabeth. The land is dying. People are suffering. Soon, they'll starve. All because of a terraforming system that's spiraling out of control. And only I can fix it. Only I have your genetic code. It won't be long before we hit the point of no return. And then... extinction. I've been searching for months for what I need. A backup of Gaia. The AI you designed to control the system. But every time I think I have a lead, it comes to nothing. And every night, I have the same dream.
This is where I wish I could pause. I can pause. So, as for what I recollect, the entire biodome system was not just Gaia, it was Gaia was the head AI and had multiple substitute systems based on a mythology, and I want to say Athens. I'm uncertain. And Gaia, before she self-destructed, told us that we can only restart her once Hades is completely gone, because as Hades wants to destroy what she has built, and she is not convinced that she needs to be reset. Plus, Hades got the glitch that destroyed life on Earth in the first place. So, but what I don't recollect is that Gaia told us how to, quotation marks, restart her. And since she obviously is self-destructed by overloading her fusion reactor, she is pretty much gone. So my guess always was, when I didn't know that the second part is coming, that the same facility where we got the master registry would also be able to help us to have a less complex version of Gaia, basically baby Gaia, that would then learn to adapt to the systems, something like that. But hey, now we are here, and it seems we are clueless. But we are hallucinative for some reason. Also, there would be the question of, why doesn't Aloy just reproduce to produce more gene codes, so she has basically a duty as a living being to replicate. We know from Elizabeth Sobeck that she is a workaholic and always works for the goal ahead. And in one of her dialogue logs where she talked to Gaia, Gaia even asked her, why don't you have kids? And Elizabeth Sobeck meant that she would never have time. She's basically one of those personalities that has to be stopped to live in the moment instead of constantly thinking about the future. So I guess everything is on point.
I'm walking under a brilliant night sky, through a field of flowers. And when I arrive at the center, I see you, Elizabeth.
So this doesn't make sense, because Gaia only had a few nanoseconds to even give the order to produce Aloy from one of the cloning facilities. And that wouldn't have given Gaia enough time to modify her gene code to have these sort of hallucinations. Also, since we never had anything like this in the previous game, this is probably going more towards a batshit insane arc. The best example as to why I dislike it is probably the Star Wars saga, where I would compare. This is the line of reasoning I have in my head that I want to try to explain, because there we have this superpower or energy in the universe called the Force, and there are people that absolutely have no connection to it. Then there are people, they have like super intuition, that are basically force sensitive, that can like feel it and can get guided by it, but actually don't understand what it is, why they have this sort of talent, or why they have this sort of talent. And then there were Force users, aka Jedi and Sith, where they were actually able to shape the world around them using the Force. And there you could communicate to someone, or the Force could communicate to someone to give them some sort of psychic input, to lead them to a place, or to transmit some sort of message. Since this kind of Force or something similar to it never existed in here, this is really hard for me to believe. The closest thing that comes to mind are the Banuk. They always talk about the machine spirit. There was even this one village that had friendly machines, because there was supposed to be a spiritual connection between Banuk and those spirits. They would have finally learned to talk with the machines in that village, and to have a mutual understanding, a peaceful understanding. But then it came down to a satellite crashing down and having broadcasted a neutralizing signal. And that was why the machines weren't attacking them in the village. There was actually no machine spirit of the sort. It was just that the signal that they usually would have to tell them to protect themselves and when to protect themselves was overwritten by the satellite brick that was laying in the mountains right next to them. So this really hard to believe.
Waiting for me. Even though you've been dead for 1,000 years. You're the closest person I've ever had to a mother.
And I guess this is the point that is really closest to it. That since Aloy never had a mother, she had only a godfather in Rust, where he would raise her. And since she learned about her mother, she only has the fantasy of what a mother is, and she could be said through things, hallucinating her as to what Sobek could be if they had a life together. But like I said, they are currently saying that this sort of dream is a hint as to how she can accomplish her greater goal, reinstating Gaia as main control AI. I guess this is also the best point to mention, that the point I forgot to mention is that we still don't know where the glitch came from, where the Grand Kill Order came from, that then even possessed Hades all of these hundreds of years later. Yeah, I don't expect it to be solved in this game, maybe in the third one, but I would like some hints.
And for a moment, I feel whole. but it never lasts.
Yeah, the second part makes no sense. Unless she had a recent traumatic experience relating to this.
I'm always left alone.
Which isn't true. She has an entire tribe. We had a harem of... we had the Sun King of all, which is a Nora. We had... what's the... Carpenter... No, not Carpenter. The... Ted. You know, the other Nora guy. We basically had the status inside of the Nora to choose whoever our mate would be. Then we had what's the Othram guy called? Frick. For some reason I want to call him Björn, which is not even close. But yeah, the Vanguard guy. And did I mention the Sun King already? Then we even had a lady interest from that one Othram station. The now Great Hawk of the Hunter's Lodge. Nah, that was just a friendship. That wouldn't go further than a friendship. So yeah. Plenty of, at minimum, friends that would be there. And even accomplish us on our journeys. You know? Being a seeker, all that, the blessing of a seeker protecting her and her travel partner. By no means would Aloy be alone unless she chooses to be alone.
This world is your legacy, Elizabeth. I won't let it slip away. The valley below is my only remaining lead. My last hope to find the backup.
Okay, now we come into a small side tangent that actually has not really much to do with this game in of itself. But basically canon accidentally introduced into stories where actors and actresses misspell something because it's not natural to them, and with that creating a fact inside of a told story that is that shouldn't change. What I want to point out is Elizabeth, that she now is not saying Elizabeth with a TH at the end, but Elizabeth, which is I want to say word breaking, even so a lot of people probably would not agree with this point of view, but it's since everyone was saying Elizabeth in the previous game, it's something I now take great issue with. Yeah. So I'm gonna take this frame and make it as my pause screen since I really like this frame. Wait, hey? Oh, yeah, there's this picture. Where did I save it to? Desktop. Good stuff.
Do whatever it takes to get it. I promise.
Hey, it's your boy.
If it isn't Aloy, the savior of Meridian, anointed of the Nora.
You know I hate being called that stuff.
Well, consider it a punishment for running out on us the very same night we beat Hades.
I grew up an outcast. Remember, I'm not much for parties.
Yeah. But that one was in your honor. Just saying. So, what are we doing? Must be urgent since you left so fast. Delving into ancient ruins?
Something is irritating
Maybe it
me
has
about how
something
he
to do
carries
with the
himself.
blood.
Both, actually. But, I should...
Oh no. I've been tracking you a long way. It's okay. After everything you've done to help the Nora and my family, I swore an oath to help you, no matter what. You're stuck with me now. Like bark on wood.
I guess we didn't really get to know Val in the previous one
Okay,
since they were
but
constant fighting and
if you're going to
stuff.
come with me, you'll need to be able to see what I see.
A focus. Never thought I'd get your second sight.
I'll give you another one later and show you how to back up your data.
Data?
Information on the device. We've got a lot to cover. I'll have to explain everything as we go.
And suddenly he can read.
You see like this all the time?
Since I was a little girl. Come on.
I guess what was putting me off is the general new talking style. You know, just fine.
Shall we?
Or is it talking direction? Director? This? I really hope you know what I mean.
All right. I got a couple of scrapes on the way here. We should find some medicinal plants. Stock up. So it's time for your first lesson with the Focus.
Sounds good. Let's get started. These plants don't look like the ones in the Sacred Lands.
Ugh.
Bitter?
Yeah, well, at least they make you feel better. All right, we should keep going.
Might want to grab more of these plants along the way.
Yeah, good idea. Those ruins. That's where we need to go. Fastest way down.
I see a few ways down. What are we after exactly?
The backup? Well, it's an AI. It's hard to explain. Think of it like
She just said,
Seven
oh,
instructions that can fix the world.
Sounds complicated.
okay, I have to see what is bound to my mouse buttons in a moment.
I ran into some
So
trouble
I'm
when we
using
were
to
here.
mute, unmute.
Lost a lot of gear.
How was it mapped in the previous one? Because I... Oh, it was hold to aim. Just right click for heavy hit. That should work for now.